Welcome, everyone. My name is Dina Redinger. I am the CEO of Ace Coaching Company and also Diagnostic Thinking. I wanted to introduce you to a great guest I have with myself today. Her name is Alyssa Hawn, and we believe that women are changing the world. Alyssa is an integrative health coach, and she's a certified, I should say, holistic health coach, helping women business owners and executives to get on the fast track to better health so they can fulfill their life's purpose. Alyssa suffered from multiple chronic illnesses before discovering the power of holistic health, and she was able to apply what she learned to reverse interstitial cystitis, osteoarthritis, and more in under a year, in addition to losing weight, shifting her mindset, and awakening her spirituality. Today, she's passionate about educating women on the finer points of natural, holistic healing and partners with them one-on-one so that they can break down barriers and reach their health goals in a very short amount of time. So, Alyssa, also true about you, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dina. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of great women on this show before me, so I'm honored to be included.
We're really glad that you're with us today. And certainly I met you about 6 months ago, and you've kind of helped me through a lot of my own little health crisis as well. So I wanted to thank you for that. And the reason for having you on the show is just to allow you to share with other people and other women around the world how you found your confidence. But first, I want to ask that key question. What would you like our listeners to hear about you today?
Yeah, so I want my listeners to know my purpose, which is to make dreams come true. And I know that sounds like really hokey and dopey, but I'm kind of hokey and dopey. But I'm really fueled by helping women live their dreams and live their purpose. Like that just lights me up. So yeah, so that's what I want people to know.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you have really done a lot of amazing things over this last little bit for yourself. And I wanted to know from your perspective, because you've started a new business, and how did you find the confidence to do that?
Yeah, so I think for a long time, I kept myself really small because I didn't have the confidence to move forward. And then with my health crisis, like I hit rock bottom in about, I would say September of 2020. And I knew like something needed to change. And I started to take responsibility for myself and my health. And as soon as I did that, things started to shift for me. And I realized like if I am persistent and persevere, I can make my dreams come true. I can make whatever I want happen as long as it's in alignment with my true desires, my authenticity, who I am, my values. So, my values are self-growth, holistic health, connectedness, and health coaching just is so in alignment with that. So that's how
I love that. Tell and share with the listeners a little bit about, it's great to think about what you want to do next. Where did the gasoline come from to put strategies in place to move forward?
For me, it was getting my physical health in check, actually. So once I fueled my body, like I could change my mindset because I was so distracted, I think, by all of my physical problems. I couldn't show up in my day-to-day. I have a young son, like I couldn't show up for him. I couldn't show up for my family. So getting my body fully nutrified, taking care of myself, doing that self-care, that's how I was able to move forward.
Yeah, and that's such a awakening for a lot of women everywhere, right? It has to be our health to wake us up and say, okay, maybe it's time that we step in and find ways to be able to take care of ourselves so we can get what we want out of our life and our careers, right?
Right.
Yeah, and what your thought process is, is really taking this integrative health perspective in this approach to help people get ahead of it, and kind of talk a little bit about getting ahead of your health, but also kind of what you do with kind of reversing some of the things that are kind of plaguing our world today, such as, just the loss of being able to control our blood sugars or being able to control fatigue. even brain fog, when you get older in your life and you got a lot of, or younger, if you're under a lot of stress, you get a lot of brain fog. So talk about kind of that approach about, how do you stay ahead of it, and then how can you reverse? Because there's two lanes.
Right. So staying ahead of it, for me, I'm always looking at the health research and the science coming out, so I can make my lifestyle and diet shifts, I guess. And then, so how to stay ahead of it. And then what was the other part of the question?
Yeah, kind of reversing, helping people reverse some of the things that are going on. Because, you talked a little bit
Oh, yeah.
about this, yeah, some of the things that you dealt with early on, and you were able to reverse that, right? So,
Yeah, yeah. So the things I mentioned before, making sure you're fully nutrified. That is so important. So making sure you eat a really good diet, a lot of plants, and organic is important as well, because when you buy conventional produce, it's often riddled with toxic chemicals, and those are going to slow you down. Those are going to block up your digestive system, your liver, and then when that happens, like, everything gets backed up. You start experiencing inflammation and other problems. So I like to always start clients by doing a health evaluation and just looking at different areas of the body and see where you might need additional nutritional support. But I also really think it's important that your body receives all of the 90 essential nutrients that it needs. So all of the vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids. It sounds like hard, but it's actually really simple. It's just nutrify your body, and then things will start going into place.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
so that's, and then once that happens, then you can start tackling your other problems, whether it be like mindset or different barriers that you have in your life that are like physical barriers. Maybe you're in a bad relationship, or you don't like your job, then we tackle that.
Yep. So getting a handle on your biological response, and like you said, feeling and fully nutrifying yourself will allow yourself to handle a lot of other stressors in life, is what I heard you say. Did I get that right?
Yes, yes, completely, completely. And then, everybody is different. So people have different problems based on their unique,
Mhm.
genetic makeup and their age and what their environment is.
Yep.
But yeah, the nutrification is just so basic.
Yeah, but there's so much science behind it. I think that's why, I really latched on to you as well, because I have a science background. And if I don't have the science behind what I'm doing, it's really hard for me to convince myself that that's what I should be doing. And I think that's probably what was the key for me, is that kind of that aha moment. Well, that does make sense. And yes, that does make sense. And it does work. Talk a little bit about how you're able to reverse, osteoarthritis, and talk a little bit about the science behind that, because that's probably big for a lot of people.
Yeah, so osteoarthritis is usually a magnesium and calcium deficiency. And there are also other cofactors involved that help your body absorb those two nutrients. Also, for me, reversing my osteoarthritis too, I think it was listening to my body. What does my body need right now? And I'll tell you, Dina, for a long time, like before I made my health transition, I thought I had to work out super hard if I wanted to stay in shape. And so I was really putting a lot of stress on my knees, but I thought I have to do this because this is the only way I'm going to keep the weight off. And that is not true. So as soon as I started listening to my body, listen to, okay, do I need rest? Do I need like a grounding activity like yoga? Then I was able to put my body in the space to heal.
Mm,
Yeah.
I love that. What I heard you say is the confidence really comes from being honest with yourself.
Yes.
And if you were to, share with other people, all over the world, if they're listening, what would you say to them to increase their own confidence?
Mm. So I would say that before you do anything great, you are going to have your ups and your downs. So if you have your downs, like, that's normal. That happens to everybody. and you learn from those downs, and then you can start building your way back up. And it's like, okay, maybe I got this. Yeah, I got this. And then yes, I
Mhm.
got this.
Yeah.
So like not getting discouraged by the downs. So if you have, also one thing that happens with people that I hear all the time is, oh, I tried this once and that didn't work for me. But it's the people who keep going, who work through it, who maybe try that thing again or try something else, who are persistent. Like that's when it starts to work for them.
I love that. So, if you could go back, and you're not that old, but you've experienced enough life to say, what would you tell your younger self?
Oh, I would tell my younger self that I know exactly what it is. So I thought for a long time that in order to get what I wanted, I had to be what other people wanted. And that
Mm.
is just not true. So
Mhm.
I really encourage people, and I would have loved to tell this to my younger self, like focus on what you actually want, because that's the most important thing. That's how you're going to be happy. If you focus too much on making other people happy, it's at the expense of yourself and your health, your
Yep.
whole health, mind, body, spirit.
Hmm. That's well said. I work with women all over the world, and very rarely will I find somebody to be able to articulate what they really want. And so defining what you really want is really important, but also being able to articulate to yourself and to others what you want. Right. So that's an important thing for building confidence for yourself is one, being able to at least say, what is it that you really want for yourself, for your career, and for your life? So I love all these
And can
great.
I say one more thing? And
Yes.
if it's hard for you to do that, if it's hard for you to say what you want, get a coach. So I have a coach who's actually been on your show. Her name is Judy Ryan, and I love her. And she has helped me so much in being able to articulate what I want and to be able to
Mhm.
say it to other people, because sometimes I'm so afraid of hurting feelings,
Right.
or, I'm afraid they're not going to like me.
Mhm.
Um, but I find that I feel so much better saying what I want, even if the reaction is not as good as I would hope. Like I feel better because I'm living in alignment with myself and what I want. And if
Right.
that other person doesn't respond well, it's not a fit. Move on. Go find your tribe.
Right.
You're not wasting your time.
Right. Being straightforward is very hard for women all over the world. It being okay with being straightforward, being okay with asking for what you want, but honoring yourself enough to say, this is what I want, and asking people, if they are willing to come on that journey with you. So I think it's an important part for everyone around the world to be able to sit back and say, what am I feeling? What do I want? But also being able
Mhm.
to give themselves permission to step into the confidence for asking for the things that they want and deserve the most. So,
Yeah. Step into the fear.
yep.
Step into the fear. It's so scary, but it's like it gets easier the more you do it.
And it has a lot to do with being an integrative health coach, because you want people who want to step into, what do you want? If you want a healthier life, if you want to be able to take control of, how you're feeling physically, it does have a direct effect on relationships and also your performance in your job, or like you yourself stepping into and creating your own business for yourself, really aligning yourself to things that you want. So I wanted to thank you today, Alyssa Hawn. We really appreciate what work you're doing and the confidence that you're building for yourself, but also for other people around the world. So I want to thank you for being on the Confident Women Leader Show today. And I know we'll be talking to you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Dina.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.